Aloha to all of you who are joining us for the Crafting the Modern Goddess Moonifesting virtual new moon gatherings. For those of you who are able to be here in person, join from afar, watch remotely, wherever your time zone is, we are so grateful you are here to share in our circle today. Thank you. Welcome to the Aries new moon. We have about one more minute till we hit the top of the hour, maybe a few more seconds. So I'll just give it a minute just to see if anybody else shows up in person, and I will continue to be mindful of everyone's time. So welcome to the Moonifesting, Crafting the New Moon. Like we said, it is the 28th of March 2025, 6 p.m. on the Pacific Coast here in California, and we are in the Aries new moon. Welcome to everybody. And for those of you who are here in person, please feel free in the chat box if you are in a safe space to type, of course, as I know some of you are always driving or in transit from work or back and forth from home during this time because we are busy goddesses. So feel free in the chat box. Drop in where your location is. We are building a golden circle from everywhere around the globe here, the ether, and that's the whole point. So we're about connecting, and honoring the earth is really important. The earth loves to be honored. I like to begin by acknowledging the traditional custodians, owners of the land, which we circled today, the people of the Chumash in the nation of United States here in California. And I pay my respects to all the ancestral stewards of this land, elders, and past and present. I welcome you to do so in the same. Again, you put that in the chat box. You're representing and the custodians and owners of your land, and they love to be honored and recognized. If you're not sure of what people a native of your location, you can find that information at native-land.ca. Type in your geolocation, your zip code, or wherever you're at, traveling maybe, and you'll populate the custodians and owners of the land that you are connecting to in our circle today. So welcome to the circle. Okay, I just want to check in to see. Beautiful. Welcome, everybody. Yes, I see some emails from people saying that they will not be in attendance. I see it's happened. It's Friday. It's spring. Woo-hoo! Okay, next slide. You will find that in all the newsletters, you will see this. This is the monthly schedule. Just like the moon and the tides, even though we're circle gathering, it's ebb and flow, ebb and flow, ebb and flow. And just like Jack Johnson says, it's the best songs, the ones that sway back and forth because the babies like it. So if the babies like it, everyone likes it. Moonifesting schedule is an ebb and flow. We'll have the welcome and introduction, the opening circle, the cosmic, setting intentions, crafting, reading, closing circle. It's a pattern. It's the same every month throughout all the years we've been doing this. Oh, pardon. Before all the circles, if you have time and space, you don't have to do this tonight. You can do this in your own time and the space. Tomorrow is the official new moon. Today is the black moon. Gather all your ritual items. Arrive in a state of empty presence. Please take responsibility of the energy you bring into this space And this is a safe container for everyone. So you're free to share as you like, and everyone will create this space for you. Together, each month, as the circle ebbs and flows near and far, the idea is that we grow through what we go through. So as we share and we get to know each other, we'll see and we'll appreciate each other's growth. All right. Let me just take a moment and unstop this share really quick. See if I have any eye contact. Aloha. I see some eyes. Beautiful. So we have some, let's see, I like to start circle. For those of you who are repeats, you know this poem. And for those of you first timers, because I know that we have a few, just take a moment and connect and visualize. Settle into your space, expand. And even though you're in your own space, your own time, wherever you're at, if you're outside, inside, driving in a car, you're at the office, at your house, maybe you're hiding out in the bathroom from your kids, whatever that is for you, this hour's for you. So just imagine that we are connected with powerful goddesses surrounding in golden light. And to protect ourselves during this time, this is a traditional, non-traditional. I've made it a little bit less pagan. It's traditional. Please repeat after me. If you know this already, you already know it. Around myself and those I love, I cast the ring past not. Only pure love and good come from me. And only pure love and good come to me. Imagine your golden light coming from your heart, out your hand, connecting to goddesses around the world in circle now. Welcome to circle. Yeah. Beautiful. So I try to keep on track. We only have an hour. I say we have an hour, but you have as much time as you want to put into this project. I say together, let's work together as an hour. So in the cosmic overview of the planet, how does this work? You have your birth chart. You'll hear me repeat this almost every month because we have ebb and flow again, as we grow through, we go through. You have your birth chart. That is your map. When you're born with that chart. You walk the wheel and you die in that chart. You walk alone, you die alone. So this is your chart. However, the cosmic overview, the items that I'll be discussing for the next little chunk of time is exactly what's happening now. So you have your chart. So here's my hand, my left hand. This is your chart. And then you have today's chart, my right hand, like coming over it. So if you looked in the mirror and you would see like two charts overlapping each other. And when you have that overlapping, that's how you're able to read your chart with the chart happening today. So I like to call that the cosmic overview. It's the current energy of the planetary and how it relates today. It's up to you to see how it relates to you. And what do we have? We have PDFs for that. Ta-da! I love me a PDF because when you have something fun to fill out, you want to fill it out. Because there's so many forms that you don't want to fill out every day, like something fun and colorful that fits the energy of the moment. So this is the energy of the moment. New moon, Aries, you were this PDF was sent to you, you can find this PDF in your portal. And again, the goal of all of these PDFs is for you to complete on your own time. It doesn't have to be right now. You might want to put a little bit more focus point into it, some personal time. And at the end of the year, you put all these PDFs together, you will have a book. You will have your own book. You put 3 together, you will have a book of 3 years, which is another book. So we all need books. This is our life. This is what we're about, measuring our results. So on these PDFs, you'll find pretty much something similar each month, the intentions, what you're going to let go of, the release, and then the habit reminder. Maybe there's a habit you're working on that you just need to remind yourself of, and we'll talk about that. I'm all about habits. And then up in the top, it's what's happening now. You've got new moon in Aries. It's a super moon. We can't make that up. That's nasty. You look it up. That just means it's closest to the earth, big, even though we can't see it. It's in the Aries, this eclipse season. So there's an eclipse tomorrow. There's an eclipse on the full moon. So it's eclipse season. I'll talk about that. And then we've got the planetary flips. So these are things that are automatically happening in the galactic world above us, scientifically proven, that we can apply to our charts. So that's why this is here. So I don't want to spend too much time because each month is pretty much the same. So here we go. This is what we going. Yeah, I know. It always gives me, it tells me I'm raising my hand because I'm a hand talker. This year, you will hear me. This is the overview of what's happening right now, and then I'm going to get into like more micro details. So the overview of what's happening. It's a year of completion. It's the age of Aquarius. Except it's the very, 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 very beginning of the age of Aquarius. Very beginning, like poof, beginning, like you just blew out the candle beginning of Aquarius. And so beginning that we don't even know what's happening right now. So being in that state of shedding and the year of the snake and the wood snake, these are the questions. Now, we had these questions last year. I know all of you are like, we had these questions last year because last year was the ending of the ending of the ending. And this is the beginning of the beginning of the beginning. So the questions are the same. I wonder what will happen next. Anytime something's going on. Why am I so blessed? No matter what the situation is, it may look really yuck. It's just a moment. It's just a moment in time. It's just the liverwurst between the ham and the turkey and the salami in the sandwich. It's just that moment. So remind your consciousness, I wonder what will happen next. Why am I so blessed? Those are your questions. You have little post-it notes all over your house. You get the dry eraser, and you write it on your glass, wherever it is, you got it. Okay, moving on. General alignment. What are we having right now? Do you feel like you're in a fucking pinball machine? Yes, ma'am. I believe we all do. It's like alignment. There's this, it's all over 7 planets of pinball. Ding, 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 ding. Right at the 12 o'clock access. For the next 5 months, we're going to be pinballing. But right now, it's even more so because we just got the first ball released. So when you feel it, I don't know if you, the younger generation, know of a pinball machine. Go see it and experience it physically to experience that kinesthetic spiritual response, because you will see the pinball machine is very spiritual. And I know it sounds silly, except it's not when you play, because the tilting is the goal, right? We want to tilt. We want to get to that point of caca to start all over and get the most points. Pluto power, that's the age of Aquarius. Saturn, taskmaster. So this right now with Saturn is about the assessment. So we've got a stellium of planets all in the same place, like all in Pisces. So because they're all hanging out in the watery depths with the mermaids and the pirates, you're in a divine discontent. You're in this place of, we all are, like, we're in this place of who's the master. Well, guess what? You're the master. If it's your life no longer resonates with you, soulful motivations, this is the time to create the course corrections. If you don't create them, the course corrections will be created for you. So that's kind of, as one of my girlfriends says, the cosmic insurance policy. We all have them in our own charts and it's there for us. So you can guarantee that if you don't do it, it's insured. It's gonna happen. So you can make that choice. It's up to you. What it's doing, though, it's setting ourselves up for a life, a new course. And we're all in it. It's not anything specific to one or the other. And because we're all in it, it's about realization. And when we look back, we'll say, oh yeah, there's a deeper understanding of what we're letting go and what we're really the master of. And we'll be like, oh yeah, we weren't taking responsibility or accountability for that in the past. And now you're kind of pushed to do so, or you're going to flounder. Like, you'll know because we're swimming right now in the Pisces energy. It's pinballing. Wee! So the Neptune energy is also Pisces, and that is all about returning to individuality and self-realization. It's like being kind of like a kid where you're being a willingness to experiment and have this courage to do things that you just wouldn't do normally. Like, you're like, oh, I'll do that. And then you just do it. So you have this like pioneering spirit within you. And why is that? Because it's going back between this watery energy and then back into the fiery energy. So it's right on the cusp. Like, all of these pinball planets are going from water to fire, water to fire, water to fire. And we're sitting there going, oh, can we take a nap? Like, it just feels like we just need to take a nap. It doesn't even make sense because none of it makes sense. Like, the mind. And so then, knowing that, you have to recognize the shadow side. The shadow side could come up and bite you in the boo-boo. It can really show you also the fact that you have no motivation. It can show you you have no direction. So this energy is going on until October 22nd. Quietly speak, now or never. It's that energy. It's that beginning of beginning. If you already know where you're going and what you're supposed to be doing, do it. This is it. There's, no one but you knows that. This is it. So overall, moving on until we get into more specific things, the energy of the moment is we're going from the cosmic womb, which is I amplify in stillness, and we're going to next month, starting into the next month, I focus, I create, or destroy or preserve. So as the creator, you're the creator, destroyer, or preserver because it's an energetic triangle. Create, destroyer, preserver. It's all the same. We're the goddess. Okay. Next. Today, I just want to check in with everybody, see how we are. I don't know why it's not showing me my things. I will continue, hopefully. I trust everybody is on and I can see, they can see me. I see them. Okay. New moon, super moon, Aries. It's actually tomorrow. So today is the official, it's like Pisces. So if you're looking, you're like, Andy, I looked, it says Pisces. Yeah, okay. Tomorrow, that's when the eclipse happens. That's when everything happens. And for those of you who are here, not here, in person or remote, and I always call you the OG members because for the last 20 years I've been working goddess moon circles with you. You know better. You know that you're the ones who requested no weekend gatherings, and we're meeting on a Friday. And so tomorrow is the official new moon. So here we are. I'm just saying as a disclaimer. It's also combined with eclipse. It's really about that gateway. It's that even though we have people here in Circle on in Australia that are working in the fall. I'm focusing in the spring. They used to be here in New York, so I know this about them. We're we're here focusing on that balance, period. Whether you're there or here, it's about maintaining the balance through all the chaos and finding it in the inner temple. So we're stepping towards the light here. And then in Australia, they're stepping towards the darkness because they're going to be going towards winter. It's really about staying balanced through all the chaos. During this time, it's really contradictory. So you might find yourself caught up in the pinball machine, right? Like we just talked about that. There's this conflict. There might be room for conflict within yourself, outside of yourself, because you're looking forward. And as you're looking forward, maybe you'll have this disillusion of reality and you go to take a step and there won't be anything there. So on one level, like it's really excited to take forward moment, but then on the other level, there's consequences. So it might not be comfortable and that in that case pleasant at that time. So be really clear on the motives and the intentions on everything you're doing right now during this new moon for the rest of the year, because this is the spark of the year. This is the official new year. They call April 1st April Fool's Day because it was the new year. And then when they changed the calendar and they changed it to January 1st being the first, it was only a fool who practiced New Year's on April 1st. So you see how that pagan game still plays today if we practice the moon cycles. This is a perfect alignment of the Aries spark. I am the initiator. The organs during this time to think about are head, teeth, tongue, muscles, penis, gallbladder, arteries, blood. So this is the energy, directive energy. I am the initiator, the leader of leader energy. Mercury goes direct on April 7th. Okay, so now we're going into, I'm just going to go over the rest of the month until we meet again. And when that happens, because it's been in retrograde, everything's kind of been delayed. It just means we're taking care of unfinished business. Like we said last month, we went through all this. It's like anything that's been prolonged is kind of catching up. You're recognizing, you're cleaning house. You want to empty as much as you possibly can, clean every box because you really don't need it. If you don't need it, you don't need it. So when during this time on April 7th and beyond, you'll all of a sudden recognize that something will pop in and you're like, whoa, that happened really quick. And you won't necessarily expect it. And it'll go really fast. You go like, wow, I didn't expect to be going on that trip, or wow, that was unplanned. So there's gonna be some impulsiveness happening. And so as you go to take that step, be really aware if what's pulling you, if it's emotional or mental, or if it's causing confusion or anything that's misaligned with reality. And it's hard because when it comes in so fast, sometimes it's really exciting. So be mindful of that. So pay attention to impulses and anything in that manner. Venus goes direct on April 13th. This is Venus, sex, love, money, the currency, how you flow, what comes in, what comes out, the energy of Venus. So right now it's like, even though there's so much happening in the pinball world, it's all about Venus. Like having sex and a good time and going out and being loved and being seen and flirting as whatever gender. Like it's like, oh, flirts. It's that it doesn't matter. It just feels good to have that zazza going on, flexing the skills of the Venus. And so when we come into direct, it's going to go beyond that. Now you're going to have to actually think about it. Like you're going to be like, okay, how does this really, what do I need? What kind of approval do I need now? Do I need it for myself first? And there's going to be a lot of mystical experiences going on. Central relationships, clarifying conversations. What do you need for self discipline? Like maybe you actually need to set a little bit of time to build space of your own currency and your own feelings before you go outward exploring. So there are some things that it's really tumultuous times right now. And when I say it's exciting and it's also tumultuous, it's like you have to dare to do something different and you have to engage in the silence where the silence actually makes noise. So it's that currency where you hear that buzz in the silence, if that makes sense. So it's a time to go on spiritual pursuits. It's a time to go on healing pursuits. And then here we are, full moon in Libra that comes around. It's also a super moon. We also have a partial eclipse coming, and that's in April. We're going to consider our genuine needs. What's your consent? What is your genuine needs? What are your impulses towards healing? Where is that going? How are you actually integrating the healing you've already done? Do you like the healing or do you need to try something new? So it's that reflection. When we look at the supermoon in Libra and the full moon, it's bringing confidence and courage to take that fresh spark, that fresh start of the spark that we're dealing with right now. In the next 2 weeks, we'll be able to take it and we'll be able to focus it on something and deadlock it on a situation so we can get that flow going again. So in the next 2 weeks, set your intention today. In the next 2 weeks, you'll feel that flow. And when the flow happens, again, surprising developments, especially in the areas of money, because it's a leadership position, possibly move. You'll hear a lot of people preparing to move or hearing about moving or even thinking about moving. Maybe they had no thought about moving and just the thought of moving is, that's a big deal in itself. So just give it that space, the space for the natural resources to come in. And some people really lack energy at this time too. Some people are just really struggling. And they just might be struggling. And that's just part of their karma. So if that is happening, I'm just going to suggest to stay as busy as you possibly can, walk it off, keep walking it off, and focus on July. Because July is like a real turnaround point for a lot of this energy. Okay, so that's full moon. Ta-da! Again, remember all of this will be available on the portal. This will be recorded on the portal for you. Ta-da! Astara! Do, 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 do. So for those of you who are new or old or welcome back, we have, and I say that in the most loving way in the spiritual world, because not everybody connects to all of the rituals and understand the ceremonies and rituals and the reasons and the whys. And so the reason why we collect the egg, is because it's the most fertile point for rebirth, right? The reason why the bunny is used as a symbol is because they have massive rebirth. When bunnies reproduce, they produce on massive levels. massive. So there's a idea of society being reproduced with a bunny. When you look at a society versus a smaller, a smaller civil area where you're just in a township or a local. So if you come to the goddesses, the idea of the chicken is no different than the goddess we are all. We are born with so many eggs. The chicken is born with so many eggs. And the chicken lays eggs around the moon cycle. Just we are gathering around the moon cycle. The goddesses have gathered around the moon cycle for centuries and centuries and centuries. And this is just another ritual. One of the rituals that the goddesses know is that the chicken's most fertile eggs laid all year are the first full moon of the spring, and that would be the April moon in this case, because we're in the first new moon of spring today. In 2 weeks will be the first April full moon. And having that said, tradition also has it that if you send the children out to go collect those eggs, being the most fertile, and they all gather and collect, the fertility will pass to the children and the rest of the township, and will reproduce, and the civilization will reproduce as such. Make it fun, they make it playful, they make it tradition. You gather the eggs, and then you come home and you immediately eat those eggs. Obviously, because you have so many eggs, not all of them are eaten at one time. So the second tradition is to take the local flowers and the herbs that the goddesses will collect during their tribal meets on the new moon, such as avocado pits, different colors of leaves, and they dye the eggs different colors with the natural colors of the earth. So then again, this is just another way of connecting. So tonight's craft is about connecting with the coloring, like the goddesses of the coloring of the egg, so we can come together and make it fun for us. So this is some tradition, again, old time tradition, bringing it back to the Moonifesting, bringing it back to today. And I just want to go a little bit into the pagan ritual, but it's not so pagan. Like if you start to look at why are we still practicing? I mean, there's more money spent in chocolate eggs and the commercials, and I mean, it's weird. All right. Oh, what happened? Uh-oh. Give me a second. I don't know what happened here. I'm going to stop this share. I don't know what happened. Where did we go? Where did we go wrong? Okay, let's try this again. I apologize. Please bear with me. There we go. I've caught up. All right, so setting intentions. Check in. How are we? Participants. No one else is. Beautiful. A little behind in schedule. I apologize. So let's take a moment and look at your PDFs, or if you have and we'll set some intentions. What would you like to let go this cycle? What no longer serves you? And what would you like to bring in? We just went through a whole bunch of information, cosmic, all this, what's happening now. And while you can see, I have a couple other PDFs, like there's that first one, and then you're probably like, what's this one? Well, this one is for those of us who don't really know what manifesting is, and we're working on it, and letting go and bringing in is still a little bit much. So you don't know what to say and how to say it clearly. So this is my clarifying PDF, which I love so much because this was my learning process. So I have to pass along the learning process. It's the best way to learn. Uh, if this and this, but this. So in manifesting, what you think, when your mind mimics, your body mimics the mind, you get. It's like that. So you really want to be mindful of being aware of what you want. So adding all this extra stuff in the wording of your manifesting of what you want is too much sometimes. Except if we're unclear of really how to get there, we just need to get started. You need to get started. So this is your starting point. This is how I can manifest safely, because you're going to get everything you ask for in these bubbles. So if this and this but this, you're going to get it. So let me give you an example, because everybody always asks for an example. And I should probably just do a video of it and be done with this and I'll be fine. If this, I, we get pushed. It's the time we're getting pushed into that where it's our next big thing. And I knew I was in that moment of it's a next big thing. I was asking for it and it showed up. The symbol that I wear, for those of you who are unaware, I wear this symbol. It's the rising star symbol, Prima Pranahati. And it's also a healing modality that I offer. And when I saw a hooper wearing it, I was like, oh, I think I like that girl. And then I was like, oh no, I'm not into girls, but I like that symbol, but I didn't really know. Like I didn't know. So she said, well, you must be into the teacher. And I was like, no, I'm into the symbol. And she goes, but the symbol came through the teacher. I was raised atheist, so for just as a repeat, I was born Jewish, raised atheist, and I always practice my own personal style of magic with the earth, which is what I offer today here in Moonifesting. And at this point, when this person says to me, "Here they're coming to Los Angeles," and I'm like, "Oh, great, I'll go to Los Angeles," but I might have to work that day. And I'm not going to drive all the way out there if I can't place for a place to stay. But I also, need a place to stay. I need to get the work off. And even better, I better get the discount code, because it says if you order early, then you can get the discount code. So I would also need the discount code. So all those things that, and if buts need to happen for me to go see this guy. All of that happened. And so what I realized is when it's meant to happen and you know it and you're fighting the universe and you really want it at the same time, like you have to decide either you really want it or you don't want it. So this is the manifesting tool, because you're going to get exactly what you ask for no matter what. Even if you don't want it, you're going to get that too. So focus on what you want. If you're unclear on how you want it because you have set so many boundaries and parameters to protect you in that spot of coping, of lack, or coping of whatever it is, this is it. This is that practice. It's not for everyone, it's for the people that need it. So that's what this is for. Manifesting stepping stones. Okay, modern age, cycles of the visual moons. Oh, wait, what's happening? There we go. Stop the share. Would anybody like to set some intentions in person? You don't have to. I will be happy to just share an intention if anybody else would like to share. If you could, I can share. I'm looking to see. Oh, I see. I thought there were more people. Okay. So, what would you like to let go and receive? And what would you like to bring in this cycle? Just take a moment and just settle into that. You don't have to answer. What would you like to let go? And what would you like to receive? Spark of energy. All right. I am definitely shedding the need to scream and yell and be seen. Let somebody else do that. I know that feeling of just like I'm over that now. So I feel like that I'm letting go for sure. And what am I gonna bring in this year? It's a lot of new. There's a lot of new happening. I just keep selling all my rugs. Would anybody else like to share? Feel free to unmute yourself or raise your hand, and or else I will continue. Look around here. Okay. Just set your intention in the ether. We all, the golden light, we receive it. And so it is. Poof! All right. So, why are we here? This is the most important thing. As I start going in, you're going to see these repeat, and I'm not going to spend too much time because you could watch it on repeat, and then I'll probably have these on again. This is our menstrual cycle. This is no different than the moon cycle. Tidal locking, when the tidal locking happens, women come together, all their periods collide, all their cycles collide. That's tidal locking. It's no different. We are leading the Earth's mechanism of magnetic energy. So when we come together as energetic creatures, as goddesses, the earth comes together as energetic creatures because we're connected, we're the leaders of that energy. It's counting on us. So this is the cycle it works off of. Well, this cycle happens with or without the bleed. Do you get it? With or without the bleed, it still happens. This is the cycle. It's ingrained in us. This is the same cycle as the ebb and flow of the tides. Here it is in motion. You have the new moon at the bottom at 6 o'clock. You'll see new moon. It's all about dreaming and manifesting, new beginnings, planting seeds. That's where we're here. As you go up clockwise, you'll see the crescent moon, the dream. It starts fresh energy, conceptualize, focusing on details. Quarter moon, action, commitment, fresh energy, conceptualize, focusing on details. Oh, did I make a mistake there? I believe I did. I will correct that. So the first 7 days, day 1 to 7, is reflective. The second 7 days, 7 to 14, are the dynamic days. As we get up into the expressive days, we'll get into patience and waxing gibeons, refine and align, coming to full peaking at the full moon, expression, letting go of no longer serves. And then we head into the creative, gratitude, acceptance, harvest, assess, analyze, acknowledgement, abundance, giving back in the third quarter moon as we come back into the waning crescent, recharge, surrender. So if we create during these cycles and we just keep it that simple, it's that simple. Just the moon cycle, no different than the cycle. So ideally, this cycle is the same cycle as the menses cycle. Let's get it? It's just two different charts. And how do we turn it into the modern day? Andy, you say, how do I care and why do I care? Because I follow the Google Calendar. I follow the iCal. Well, guess what? There's this guy named Canton Becker who just happened to have a birthday on the 24th of what do we have? March, Aries birthday, and he's super cool. He is a super geeky guy and created a technological solution for us, amazing goddesses. You can subscribe to his moon calendar, and the moon calendar will fill up your auto populate your e-calendar, Google whatever calendar you want to subscribe to, and it tells, he's super cool. He tells you all the asteroids, he tells you anything that's happened on planetary, what to look for. He gives you all the insight, and then he updates it every year. It's totally free. I contribute, I donate to him, and then if you like it, he'll send you stickers. He's got really cool hobbies. He's such a geek. He lives in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and someday he says to me, "Keep looking up, Andy. Congratulations to you and your folk." So you can tell he's a super geek. He's not into the way we look at the moons, but that's cool. We appreciate his geek. Thank you, Canton. So I just want to make sure everybody knows that you can find that. And why is this important? Because as we set up for the year, this Moonifesting calendar, it's not just for right now and we're meeting on the new moon and I'm going through all these moon cycles. It's the ebb and flow of the whole year. We have a whole cycle. So here's this fortnightly, we have new moon, the waning moon, the quarter moon, the full moon, and then moon forward. What's going to happen next moon? You can take notes. It's the planner. You know, we all have to think about things, and we're goddesses, and we're not just thinking about things like on a personal level. We're thinking about things on the from the house. We're thinking about things from a business level. And here's moon hygiene. So here's some lunar hygiene. The idea of that first PDF that's there is really based on this lunar hygiene. Why do we care what happens during the full moon and the new moon? It does matter. It really matters when you charge something or when you clean something. And if you don't do this yourself, that's fine. We all should be doing the things we're good at. We hire the people we're not good at. So if you have a team of people to clean your house, then you're just going to hire those people during this time, like during certain times of the, that's what this is about. So you're going to think about the personal hygiene. You're going to change your toothbrush, your loofahs. You're going to cleanse your crystals. You'll make some soup with everything left over in your refrigerator. Make, leftover soup. You'll make that soup and give it away. Maybe you'll give something away because you just need to give it away. From a professional standpoint, you're going to record a video of all your assets, and you should do that at least 4 times a year. If you change it regularly, you do it monthly. You'll file or delete your emails. You'll go through them. You could shred documents. You'll give something away again. You'll sweep your entry. Always important to have a swept, clean entry. House, same thing. I always water the plants full moon and new moon. Keeps it simple. You don't need to, unless you live in a place where there's a heavy heat or cold dynamic, keeping the watering inside plants watered keeps it easy. Changing out the sponge, organizing your storage, again, recording your video assets from being in the fire, recording everything that you own so you have everything, so you know if you have to take itemization of that. And even more importantly, with all of the earthquakes and fires, I don't know where you're living these days in the area, but the energy, they're shutting off people's power for a couple days on end as a precaution for ABC, for whatever. So if you have power banks, this would be Moonifesting time, would be the time to charge your power banks. So it's just a little thing you can pop into your schedule and you can get that going. So lunar hygiene, all ways to keep a nice flow for Moonifesting. All right, how are we? Are we ready to craft? More PDFs. Making a book here. So I love this sheet because every crafting, like, we need ingredients. So today's ingredients, we have an egg, and we have pens, but there's a theme, right? There's more to the ingredients. So why did you pick your egg? You pick your egg from the store. Did you hard boil your egg? Is it brown? Like, whatever your theme is, you're going to write that in there. What's the intention that you're going to be setting during this crafting time? What are you grateful for right now? This is important. The ingredients and your flow cycle. Andy, I haven't flown for 20 years. Like, I'm not bleeding. What are you talking about here? Yeah, so whatever your cycle is, maybe you're bleeding heavy, or maybe you're not bleeding very much or at all. It doesn't matter. This is your cycle, and it's okay for you to document it. If you don't know if you're bleeding in blood, like actual weight where you're thinking in color, think about days. What day of your cycle are you on? You can document that. How's your sleep? Your energy level. And then at the very bottom, your manifested results, because what you're doing now will not be manifested now. That'll be manifested when it's manifested. Again, completing your book. So this is for you. So it's time. Let's grab our egg. I have today, I'm my little egg carrier I'm using is for my girlfriend. She just got back from buying a piece of property in Hawaii. So today is all about fertility. We have a few minutes left. Yeah. Am I on time? I hope I'm okay. Okay. Sorry about that if I feel like I'm being late. Uh, Hard boiled. Why did you pick a hard boiled egg? Did you pick a raw egg? Did you choose that on purpose? Maybe you don't have like a real egg at all. Maybe your egg is one of these crystal eggs and you're using, something like a quartz crystal egg for your fertility. I mean, I have yoni pillows all over the house and I have fertility eggs in my yoni pillows for everywhere. So, and even though I don't require it, although fertility is important with the egg, you also have to have the conjoining directive energy with the egg. So I have the PEML, otherwise known as penis energy, which is representing the Aries new moon, and I use these two together consciously on my altar. It's not required. It's not asked for. It's just saying that maybe that's what you're using. Maybe you're not using the egg. You're using more esoteric crystals instead. Whatever works for you. Get it? Maybe you're using sunflower seeds. I love some sunflower seeds. So let's just take a moment and pick your favorite colors and think about fertility and the initiation and spark of energy. And as you draw, maybe you want to draw a sacred symbol or a design, whatever that is for you. I'm just going to go ahead and read a little poem for you so you can focus on the energy. So let's just breathing in and exhaling the Aries new moon energy. I envision a flow of vibrant prosperity, filling all four corners of the earth, illuminating all in its path, where all my creations reflect in the mirror of the cosmos. Abundance, plenty, and joy. Like a lotus flower, I ignite the seeds of manifestation to blossom within. Together with my sisters, we offer a new pathway for growth, transformation, and partnership. And so it is. Nice. Enjoy your Aries new moon. Yeah, spark it up. Woohoo! Ta-da! And for those of you who are using the raw egg and you want to crack it open, you can take your shells if you want. You can be extra super cool and you can put your shells in your plants, which adds a whole other element of growth and consciousness and rebirth. Ta-da. All right, let me be mindful here of my time and our time because we have an hour to share. So let's go ahead and if anybody wants to share their egg, they can. You can raise your hand. I'll pop you open and we'll do popcorn style. If not, you can drop it in. There is a Facebook page. I know some of you use it more than others. I haven't gone to it. Oops. So we'll be picking a card now. That's a reading. I have a little cosmic reading. And we will be using the deck today, the Empowerment deck. I just think these are so cool. Someone gave this to me. This is what the outside of the deck, it's like very cool. I just think it's so glowy and perfect for that 5D Age of Aquarius energy. So let's just take a moment and breathe and exhale. Breathe in and exhale, clearing your consciousness, Aries moon. We've shared time today. We have a lot of information, more things to do when you leave. As we gather, just what do we need to know this month for the new moon? What do we need to know? What do we need to know? Resilience. Resilience. Resilience looks like it's Earth. I am resilient and capable of overcoming any challenge. Here we go. Resilience. I am capable of overcoming any challenge. The roots are as deep as the tree, and if anything, deeper, wider, bigger. It's perfect. Perfect. Resilience. Yahoo! I just love these cards because that's all there is. There's just a visual and keep it simple. And all right, let me go back to the share here. Out of respect for everybody's time, I think we have a few more minutes. If anybody would like to share anything, you can. You can raise your hand. If not, just take a moment and say thank you. We're going to be here for giving yourself an hour of time here with the sisters around the world. And for those of you who I do not see your faces in person, I see you in my third eye. I see you in my heart. I know you're here with us, and I look forward to spending time with you again. So let's just take a moment as we appreciate each other and we close circle today in a safe space. Please repeat after me in your own time, in your own space. The circle is open but unbroken. May the peace of the goddess stay in your heart. Merry meet and merry part, and merry meet again. Namaste. Thank you for coming, everyone. We have our next new moon gathering on the Taurus new moon. It is the 25th of April, 6 p.m. on Pacific time. And again, everything will be recorded and posted in the portal along with the PDFs. The PDFs are available also in your email. Hopefully you have enough places for them for you to complete on your own time in your own space. I wish you the absolute best spark and balance and rebirth time. This is it. This is it. We're here. We're in it. I am so grateful to be here in it with you. Thank you. Thank you for manifesting with me. I look forward to seeing you all next month. Happy new moon. Blessings. Namaste.